Hi, everybody. John Cena here, and welcome to Series 2, Episode 7 of FunkQuest. And we've got two returning Funksters today from the original Duologue series, Kate Frank and Ron Chapman. And Kate, can you tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
My name is Kate Frank. People that knew me earlier in life know me as Kathy. I spelled it K-A-T-H-I. I am in Houston, Texas, and I love it here. And what I do primarily is I ghostwrite. I take people's concepts and put it into words that are appropriate for helping them make money.
Fantastic. And Ron, tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Sure. Ron Chapman, Atlanta, Georgia, after many years in New Mexico, USA. I am known by many tags. I'm a coach, a consultant, a writer, a speaker, a facilitator. I think of myself as a transformationalist because it's the thing I do everywhere. I either work with individuals or groups or organizations to see if they can't hit some new standard, and any tool I can use to get us there is fair game as I see it.
Good, funky thinking. Excellent, like it. Right, let's go. Right, so a bit of housekeeping. If you think you are funky enough, send me a tweet at JohnSenior1. These folks are going to make it look reasonably easy, I know, because they're good. But if you think you are funky enough, then let's see if we can get you on the show. Get ready to vote. If you are listening to this, commuting on the bus, train, tram, whatever, in about 10 or 12 minutes time, you'll need a piece of paper or a pencil or something to mark your vote, because one of these folks is going through to the second round, so make sure that you have got something there. And if you think you've got a better answer than what these guys have got, join in hashtag FunkQuest. So with that said, so we're going to go for ladies first, I think, today. So Kate, you've got to pick an icon from the top row.
Okay, I think I'll go with the fruit. I am one of the few people I know that actually eats fruit almost every day. Daily fruit, an apple, a pear, something is part of my philosophy of life.
Very funky. I'm a banana man myself. But how many times a year do you have a declutter? You get 1 minute, by the way.
Usually it comes only once a year because I am not domestic. I may be female, but I wasn't born with the domestic gene. My surroundings are always filled with paper. Thank God for email, because with email, I can manage to get things into a folder where I might find it again. In fact, I will send it, if it's really important, I'll send it to myself 3 different times to where I can file it in a folder, 3 different folders, and that way I should be able to remember where I put it. But when it comes to physical surroundings, a lot of people can't work from home. I can leave the mess that's in the kitchen and living room and come to work in my office at home. Cluttering is...
The emailing to yourself, that's cropped up before, actually. Email it to you. So email it to a Hotmail thing and use basically free storage. Ron, you get the same question, which is the bowl of fruit, a bowl of apples, and how many times a year do you have a declutter?
Yeah, it's pretty much perpetual. I'm a prolific creator. My daughter told me that. She said on any given morning by 5 a.m. I've already generated 3 or 4 ideas, and I have to figure out what to do with them. So I'm perpetually moving things along and trying to figure out either what to do with them, or idea generators don't care so much that every idea gets acted upon. They just want to generate ideas. So my funny story about that was when I relocated to Atlanta, it turned out that for a number of years I'd been putting all my ideas in boxes, and I showed up here with 20 boxes of stuff that I had to take to a shredder because I had just generated so much.
Just like boxes of paper, like just like notes. So you've got a pad like this one.
Yep.
Written something and thought, I'll do that.
And I just kept slamming them into boxes because I didn't know what to do with them because I was traveling so much for business, and I just took them to the shredder, a big diamond cut shredder that knocked them all off in 5 minutes.
Good answers. Right, next question, and it's Ron to go first. Question 2.
The oil rig looks too good to miss.
What's your favorite word?
I just had someone tell me last night. I was at a Toastmasters meeting, and they said the phrase that Ron uses all the time is "the punchline is." Apparently, I say it quite often.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where does that
Well,
where does that come from then? That
Well, I'd like to believe it's because ultimately everything seems to have a really important reason, and I like to cut to the chase. So apparently the phrase I have been unconsciously using, I really didn't realize it until it was said last night, is at some point in time I apparently say, well, the punchline is, and people now laugh apparently. And
because a lot of these things come off, they're stuff what we pick up off TV.
Yeah. And in my case, I guess it's just that at some point in time, as I try and tell a story or move a client through or whatever, I cut to the punchline, and that's the stock phrase. So apparently that's my deal.
You've got to stop yourself from saying it now. Is that the
We'll see if I have any success at that, John.
Oil rig. Kate, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word is cool.
Cool.
I don't know why I've adopted that expression when I like something. I don't know where it started. I suspect it was about 50 years ago in the 1970s. But when I was a realtor, I had a little girl that told her mother that I said cool all the time. And I've caught myself using it all the time as well. So I guess that's my throwback to my youth, to use the word cool.
Cool. It's like a verbal intonation, isn't it? It's like a verbal placeholder.
You know, people overuse words in vocabulary, and as a writer, we're supposed to catch those and make sure that we mix things up and don't use the same words over and over again. And I get real tired of the word amazing, awesome, and all of those
Don't
things.
even start that, because that just whine. Amazing, basically, literally. His head literally exploded. How else could it have exploded? Like figuratively.
And you know, often they're used inaccurately. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But cool is cool.
Cool is cool. Should say, by the way, if you give a funky answer, I will allow you more time at my discretion, but then the other person will have more time also. Who's it to go first? It's you to go first now, Kate. So question 3.
Okay, well, I'll stay with the Houston theme and have the launching rocket.
Rocket. What music do you find most relaxing to listen to?
Actually, I think that I'm out of place with most people in that too, and it's classical music. When I want to really relax, piano, classical music is what I can put in the background, relax, and take care of business. I play classic rock when I force myself to clean the house, and I play it loud and try to forget that I'm doing something I don't want to be doing. But when I want to relax, it's going to be classical piano music.
Are you a classical music connoisseur then? Is that the right word?
You would think that I would be a connoisseur of it, but God gave me a bunch of gifts. I will never complain about my brain, but when I was being made and I went through the line for creativity, I had so much fun. I went through it again and missed the memory line altogether.
Right.
So memory is not my thing. So I use the internet and YouTube to find the things that I like.
Next person. Ron, what genre of music do you find most relaxing?
Well, let's start by saying that was pretty cool, Kate. So
Very cool.
a couple years ago, cool. A couple years ago, a friend gave me a CD by Here to Here, which I had never heard of and still don't know how to characterize them. I do a fair amount of driving, and what I found out is if I slam that thing in my CD player in my car when I'm driving around the state or around the eastern part of the U.S., and turn it up really high, it's like a meditation. I really turn it up high, and I'm like just keeping it between the white lines, and sometimes singing out loud to it. And I think what happens, John, is I get lost. It really is like a meditation.
Really?
And
it's a Here to Hear. What kind of music is it?
Well, I mean, in this case, it's their version of an Indian chant.
Right.
But there's another one on there that is just a long extended one called Holy. which is it's a sort of a mixture of chant and there's some percussion, and I kind of, it mesmerizes me. And when you're on the open road with something like that turned up loud, it's a hell of a way to travel.
I've heard that about kind of Olympic athletes that have that on their music thing, that kind of, because it just blocks out everything.
Yep, it helps them stay focused on
the next jump or throw or match or point or whatever.
Yeah.
Next question, and it's Ron to go first. Question 4.
Oh, let's see. You know, there's a whole bunch of wonderful colors for the one on the left. Let's go with that just because of the color.
Hairbrush and hair.
Yeah.
Who do you wish you could get back in contact with?
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. 35 years ago, I had a divorce, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've talked openly about that, John. And one of the things I had to do as a result of that was to just leave her alone. And for many, many years now, I thought it would be so lovely to sit down and have a cup of coffee with her. I still have a few amends I need to make to her, at least I think. But mostly, I'd love to know how her life has gone in all these many years, and yet still to this day, the guidance for me has been leave her alone. If she ever wants to talk to you, she will find you, and that seems as good advice as any.
That's good stuff, that, Ron. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. That's pretty powerful stuff. I mean, presumably finding somebody these days is not difficult. It would not be.
No, I actually, at one point, I do know how to, if I ever feel like it's the right thing to do to reach out, I do know how to find her. I have just been very mindful. You know, one of the principles of recovery is do no more harm.
Yeah.
And so I would never want to render any further harm. And so I just leave it alone, and maybe someday we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's pretty powerful stuff. Kate, you get the same question, which I think was the hair. Who do you wish you could get back in contact with?
Strangely enough, I'm going to stick with the first thing that came to mind, and it was my ex-husband. In today's world, it would have been my first live-in boyfriend, because everybody knew we weren't matched for each other. And also, strangely enough, it was his need for substances instead of doing something with his life that was productive that caused the marriage to end. He decided on his college graduation day. By the way, I put him through college. I quit school in order to put him through college. He decided that we had married too early. He was real happy that I turned out to be a better wife than he expected me to. But he was going to be out on his own for a couple of years, and hopefully he would come back. I begged him to stay. I was an idiot.
I never thought we'd be doing relationship. I thought it was like somebody from school or an old teacher or something like that was when we wrote the question. But
well, you know, the reason why he comes to mind is I don't know how to get in touch with him. I've used the internet to try to find him and have not succeeded. So I don't even know if he's still alive. I can't find an obituary. I know nothing about him, and that mystery is what bothers me.
Like an itch, what you can't scratch.
Yeah. I just can't bring it to conclusion because, you know, the last time I saw him, I was living with my second husband in a rent house, and he shows up out front. I go out to his car, and he gives me the .22 pistol and told me that he had planned to use it on my boyfriend, but he had decided not to, so he gave me the .22 pistol.
Nice.
Lucky me.
All right, let's move on quick. What question was that? Question 5, and I believe it's Kate to go first.
Okay. I think I'll go with the little trailer, the old car and the
car and caravan.
Behind it, yeah.
Apart from childbirth, what's the most physical, painful thing you've gone through?
Physical thing.
Or mental?
Mentally, it's been the ups and downs of being a freelance contractor.
Yeah, worker.
So, you know, managing everything, whether it be too much business, not enough business, lots of work to do, but no money, enough money, but not enough work to do. The management of that is not easy for someone who has my kind of brain. So it causes me a lot of pain. So
it's not the first time this has come up, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's come up before. Lisa Marie came up with this one a couple of episodes back. So
wow.
That's interesting that it's come up. Just an open-ended question, and people have found that, come up with that same answer. Interesting. And Ron, it was this one, wasn't it? What is the most physical pain you've gone through?
So given the nature of the work I do, which involves transformational work in a lot of settings, what I have to answer is sometimes I find out about heartbreaking stuff. I have a social work background as well, and I found out about heartbreaking stuff that has happened to people. So for example, recently I was working with someone who was a recovering heroin addict, and she was needing to work through the fact that her daughter had overdosed and died from heroin. And my job was to help walk her through that. And it's just heartbreaking to see how deep this stuff runs and the work that people are going to have to do to get past it. Or on another occasion, I found myself having to help a couple of women who'd been perpetrated in the workplace, abused in the workplace. And my job was to help bring that forward. And it's just heartbreaking to see how these things affect people, and yet that's the work to be done. So I have to have a pretty strong practice outside of my work hours that helps me sort of keep my balance on those things.
Good answer. Very good answer. Deep and meaningful episode, this. Every episode's different, but deep and meaningful stuff. Excellent. So that's it. And so who won? Well, I don't know. One of these Funksters is going through to the next round. So how do you influence that? Well, if you want to vote for Ron, send an email to ron@funkythinkers.com. And if you want to vote for Kate, send an email to kate@funkythinkers.com. And no, you'll not get on any stupid email list or anything like that. You will get an acknowledgement, and that is how to vote. So, Ron, how can we find out more about you?
Easy enough. I have a site that has a bunch of free content, seeingtrue.com. That's seeingtrue.com. It's all that transformational material I've been developing for many years.
Brilliant. And Kate, how can we find out more about you?
My primary website, I've got 4, is authorityredefined.com. And I came up with that name because I believe that who I work with are thought leaders. They already have an authority level knowledge in what they do. But a book and the platform that we build from the book redefines who they are.
authorityredefined.com. Excellent.
Correct.
Ron and Kate, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll speak soon. Thanks so much, and take care.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, John. Nice to meet you, Ron.
Same here.
Hi, thanks so much for making it to the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. I have a few people you might want to share it with. Your partner, your parents, your grandma and granddad, your neighbours, your hairdresser, your tea lady, your gym instructor, your swimming coach, postman, the bin man, your cat, your dog, Father Christmas, Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin, Cristiano Ronaldo.